Good evening. It's Thursday, June 23rd, 2016. I'm your host, James Levinson.
And I'm Rebecca Paganini. Welcome to the Local Live.
Our community pays respect to the victims of the Orlando massacre.
New parking meters and new parking proposals get residents and business owners to speak up.
The HCZM reports about the latest on the Army Corps of Engineers flood mitigation plan.
The promotion of Carol Pryor as an assistant superintendent for administration and personnel makes headlines in a local blog.
What's the status of the Larchmont Moratorium? Keep watching for this and more details about the latest news from Larchmont Municipal Meeting. Also, the efforts to save the Larchmont Playhouse have not stopped. Find out how you can support this cause.
New developments on the Baldwin Avenue parking situation and more highlights from the town of Mamaroneck's municipal meeting.
Ever wonder what it's like to be an intern for the Local Live? Our interns from Mamaroneck High School share their experience.
Speaking of Mamaroneck High School interns, we are celebrating the class of 2016's graduation. In our roundtable, we talk with our local valedictorians from Mamaroneck and Rhinebeck High Schools. Stay tuned.
Tell us what you think. In person, over the phone, online. Watch and hear yourself on TV. You tell us, we air it. This is the Local Live.
The village of Mamaroneck hosted a vigil earlier this week to pay respect to the 49 who were tragically murdered in Orlando last week. Dozens of people from Mamaroneck and our surrounding communities came to the memorial outside the courthouse. They lit candles, sang tributes, and gave speeches to honor those who lost their lives in the terrorist attack at the Pulse nightclub on June 12th.
In honor of the victims in this recent tragedy, LMC TV will be airing a special documentary entitled Puzzles, When Hate Came to Town, which follows another tragic event of gun violence that occurred at a gay nightclub in Bedford, Massachusetts. For more information about Puzzles, go to lmctv.org or catch it this weekend on Cablevision Channel 75 and Verizon Channel 36.
There are new proposed changes in parking in the village of Mamaroneck brought up during the June 13th Board of Trustees meeting. There have been plenty of confusion on the proposed changes with reports from FiOS 1 News that these changes were proposed by Village Manager Richard Slingerland.
However, the Local Live spoke with the village manager, and he said, quote, "This is not my proposal. I consider it my duty to be objective on the matter, as is typically the case in many other matters of village business," end quote.
If the new parking proposal passes, it would increase rates from 75 cents to $1 per hour, as well as increase the hours enforced by the village from 6 to 8 p.m., instead of ending at 6 p.m. Villagers and village officials alike discussed the proposed changes and the concerns it raised. Chair of the Village of Mamaroneck Advisory Committee, Maria DeRose, emphasized why the Board of Trustees have decided to on parking regulations first, if they still have not decided which meters should be installed on Mamaroneck Avenue. Let's take a listen.
Can we please, for the love of God, stop putting the cart before the horse and making this whole process 100,000 times more difficult than it has to be. We have in no way, shape, or form come to any conclusion on what type of technology is going to be used on Mamaroneck Avenue, so why are we even talking about any increase in rates? Why are we even talking about any increase in hours? We may not need them. So if you have a meter that takes a credit card, there's a fee attached to it. So the thinking behind this is, well, you need to make up for that fee, so we have to increase the rates. Maybe we don't need a meter that takes a credit card. We're not there yet. We don't know. We have been working backwards on this from day one. We have been given this product and we're like, do something with it that's going to make everybody happy, and it's impossible.
When talking about the parking technology on the avenue, DeRose actually referred to the pilot program on Mamaroneck Avenue, where multi-space and smart single-space meters are being studied. There's a current survey where you can provide feedback to the pilot program and rate the meters. Call 1-888-856-1389 and give your opinion. LMC TV will continue to provide updates to the proposed parking changes and parking decisions as they develop.
There is an update this week on the $70 million Army Corps flood mitigation proposal for the Mamaroneck and Sheldrake rivers. The Harbor Coastal Zone Management Commission met with the Village of Mamaroneck Board of Trustees and the Army Corps Engineers on May 25th. Since that time, the Army Corps of Engineers has resubmitted the consistency determination with our local waterfront rehabilitation plan, or LWRP, to the Department of State. The consistency report will dictate whether the flood mitigation proposal will go forward or not. The Village of Mamaroneck will also review all documentation on July 20th, and the State Department will have 60 days to review documentation and determine consistency. We want to remind you that if you do want to learn more about the Army Corps of Engineers project, the information is available to you on the Village website, www.village.mamaroneck.ny.us.
According to a recent article from the website theloopny.com, former principal of Central Elementary School, Carol Pryor, has been appointed to take on the position of Assistant Superintendent for Administration and Personnel by the Mamaroneck Board of Education. As principal, Pryor had to deal with the matter of racial concern regarding students at the elementary school being sorted into certain classrooms. She and Superintendent Robert Schatz met with parents to assure them that all classrooms were racially neutral, and indeed were. As she takes the position of Assistant Superintendent of Personnel, Central Elementary School is confident that she will do a contributable job as she had done as principal.
Back in January, the Village of Larchmont Board of Trustees adopted a temporary moratorium for certain land use applications. This moratorium was a result of a collective opposition against the demolition and subdivision of an 120-year-old house located at 40 Ocean Avenue. This moratorium set this land use application and others pending until its expiration date on July 15th. Recently, a motion was passed to hold a public hearing on July 6th for the extension of this moratorium. The board is working hard to do what is best for the village and hopes to extend the moratorium to October 15th, 2016. The board has also touched base on an issue of sanitary sewers. Administrator Justin Dettino addressed the village problem of too much water inflow and the comprehensive cleaning and servicing study that is to resolve the issue. Since the Village of Larchmont falls within the Nourishell Sewer District, there will be a shared cost of any legal services and consulting with engineer services amongst the Village of Pelham Manor, the City of Nourishell, and the Town of Mamaroneck. The Village of Larchmont is expected to share 6.7% of the cost based on population. Participants from the Save the Sound lawsuit have been monitoring the progress of this study and will continue to stay on top of it. Dettino has also made an announcement that a firm has been chosen and there will be a meeting within the upcoming week to finalize any details of the contract. Also, on June 20th, Sophie Dubanovich was given the privilege to be the village mayor for a day. Sophie led the meeting in the Pledge of Allegiance and appointed different members of the board when it was time for them to discuss something. Sophie was a great mayor for the day, and we hope to see more just like her.
The Larchmont Playhouse Kickstarter campaign has been canceled, but that does not mean the residents are giving up. Ellen Zucker, along with other residents, is currently seeking pledges and hoping for people to donate and save the Larchmont Playhouse. Bowtie Cinema will not be renewing the lease on the theater and has stated that bids on the property must be given by the end of June. Ellen, a longtime resident and frequent moviegoer, wants to preserve this long-standing staple of the Village of Larchmont. I went to the Playhouse to see how you can help save it.
Right now what we're doing is asking for pledges. We're also discussing potential of an investor group to come in and buy it with a nonprofit company that would operate the film company. We're just looking at basically everything's on the table. We're exploring a lot of options for people who want to donate, or to pledge rather, at this point. They can either send an email to savelarchmontmovies@gmail.com or to me at ezuckert@gmail.com. We will be setting up a Facebook page, but yet.
During the Town of Mamaroneck Council meeting on June 15th, council members discussed the resolution for the parking situation on Baldwin Avenue. Parking on Baldwin Avenue has long been an issue, with commuters parking in spots meant for temporary users on the field. Now, 8 spots on Baldwin Avenue will be metered at $1 per hour with a 6-hour minimum, running from Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. As for the residents on Baldwin Avenue, they will soon be able to buy a special permit at $25 a year, allowing them to park at lot number 1. It was announced that the town of Mamaroneck has authorized the bonding and contract for the purchase of the VFW building at 1288 Boston Post Road. The purchase of the building will be a permanent facility for the town's government, permitting the VFW to continue as a senior center. Westchester Joint Water Works is working on replacing all water meters in the town. The new ones in place would make it easier to gather the information they needed. They have changed most, but have about 500 left. Please make sure to schedule an appointment with the Westchester Joint Water Works so they can stop by and install the new one. It should take no more than 20 minutes.
We have our local trivia question up next, and don't go anywhere, because after that, we'll be talking with our local valedictorians from Mamaroneck and Rhinebeck High School.
Welcome to the Roundtable. I'm Maura Carlin, and I'm joined by the valedictorians of our two local high schools. With me from Rhinebeck High School are ALlison Baal, and from Mamaroneck High School we have Stephen Rome. Stephen also works on LMC TV varsity sports, so you know this area quite well, and we're honored to have both of you here. Congratulations, of course.
Thank you.
Let's hear a little bit about each of you. ALlison, I'll start with you.
All right, so I am ALlison Baal. I grew up around here. I went to Rhinebeck High School ever since kindergarten, so I really do know the area well, and it is a great place to live. And I loved Rhinebeck. I do a lot of sports here, a lot of community service. That's it.
What sports do you play?
Oh, in the fall I do soccer, in the winter I do track, and spring season lacrosse. So
any other extracurricular activities?
Yeah, I do a lot of clubs in my school. My favorite would be Key Club. And that's the community service-oriented club. I served as the vice president, and we do a lot of charity walks and fundraisers, and it's just a great way to encourage peers to kind of get involved in the community.
And Stephen, besides working for LMC TV Varsity Sports, tell us about yourself.
Yeah, so I've also been in the Mamaroneck School District my whole life. I live right across the street from Murray Avenue School, so, you know, literally and figuratively, school's kind of been close by, and you know, but other than school, you know, which I really enjoy, and I'm a hard worker, I just enjoy kind of hanging out with friends, with my family. I have two older sisters, and yeah, so you know, I enjoy spending time with them. In terms of extracurriculars, I'm one of the editors-in-chief, or I was, I guess, it's done now, of the school newspaper, The Globe at Mamaroneck. And that's been a really important part of my high school, so that's been a lot of fun.
Well, given that you've both obviously done quite well in school, how much time did you have to devote? Like, what did it take to get to that point? Did you have to devote all your time to schoolwork or every spare moment?
I mean, I think balance is important, kind of finding a balance between, you know, obviously devoting a lot of time to studying and being organized and being prepared, and that definitely is a big part of it. You know, I'm a hard worker, but at the same time, I think it's really important to, you know, taking breaks and, you know, having dinner with your family and things like that. You know, I think you kind of go crazy if all you do is schoolwork. So at least for me, you know, I tried to kind of find a balance, and there's a certain point when you have to say to yourself, you know, I've studied all I can, or, you know, I've spent enough time with this paper, and, you know, whatever happens, you know, I'm kind of done with it.
What about you, ALlison?
Yeah, I also kept a balance. The school day would be a great time to be with friends, and every day after school I would have that time to myself to play sports, and on the sports field I always just kind of focused on the game and forgot about whatever needed to be done later. And then, like Stephen said, I would eat dinner with my family, and then after all that I would dedicate, obviously, time to homework. But I also made sure on the weekends to go out with my friends a lot. I think that's really important to not just only do homework, but to make sure you're with your friends and having fun that way. So a little bit of everything.
Everything in moderation?
Everything in moderation, exactly, yes.
Can you each share like a favorite thing or a couple of favorite things or experiences that you had in high school? And ALlison, I guess I'll start with you on that one. Surprisingly, sports, I really do. Like, once again, I can't say enough how much I love sports. But it's not just the sports.
the game itself, just the teammates also. I've played with the same group of girls ever since 6th grade, and just being with them every day for 2 hours, they're really like a family, and the bond is like nothing else. So even though playing sports is a lot of work and is physically draining, it's just really great to just go out and play with the girls who are some of my closest friends for sure.
And you, Stephen?
Yeah, well, picking up on that about sports, for me, I think I found that kind of collaboration and community aspect on the school newspaper, which I mentioned, and that was a really fun way to kind of become more of a leader and to, I mean, I really love to write, so I definitely enjoyed kind of the extra opportunities there and to really connect back to the school and follow what was going on and, you know, show up to all the different shows and sporting things and just, you know, even staying late working on the paper.
And you really must have known what was going on in the school if you're
Yeah.
reporting on it all the time.
Yeah, yeah, and so that felt good. I really felt like a part of this school, and I was kind of had a first-hand look at how amazing, you know, everyone else was, and you know, all the fun things that were going on. So that was important. And there were, you know, I met a lot of great people on that as well, and some of the best teachers I think in the school. I might be partial, but I think, you know, they worked on they were the faculty advisors. So you know, the whole experience really was important to me for a lot of different reasons.
Are you guys ready for the next step? Like, what are you doing next, and are you ready?
Yeah, we definitely get asked that a lot, especially around graduation, so I'm used to it. But yeah, I'm really excited to go to Cornell in the fall, and I'll be going to the College of Arts and Sciences and studying sciences, definitely chemistry I'm really interested in, and I'm just also excited to kind of explore classes that weren't available in high school and just kind of opening my mind up to things that I wouldn't even know if I love yet, and just kind of testing the waters in that sense.
And you?
Yeah. I'll be going to Yale in the fall, and I'm really excited for that. It's kind of hard to believe that I will be going to college still. You know, I guess I have the whole summer to kind of get in the mindset, and graduation first. But yeah, so I'm really excited for that. I don't know exactly what I want to do, probably something in the humanities, maybe English or history or political science. Definitely something writing oriented, maybe. I'll get involved with journalism, but I'm kind of excited to...
They do have a daily newspaper, actually, at both schools.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So I'll definitely explore that, and I'm excited to kind of explore a lot of things and see what I like, and I don't know, maybe I'll do something completely different, so.
You never know.
Yeah.
What does being a valedictorian mean to you?
That's a hard question. I mean, I guess it definitely is kind of a final thing that shows, like, you know, if you work hard and, you know, you put a lot of time into it and thought into your school, you know, things kind of do pay off in the end. But for me, it wasn't so much about, like, an honor about me, but it gave me more time to kind of reflect about the school and, you know, all of the great teachers I've had, and kind of, it made me realize how supportive this community and the administration is, and the district. Kind of everyone really puts a lot of resources into you succeeding, and the school is amazing for so many different reasons. So I'm just kind of grateful for everything, and I think being valedictorian did put that into perspective, kind of how lucky I was to have, you know, all of that for me. So,
Okay.
I don't know.
ALlison?
Yeah, for me, it's an honor. I do love Mamaroneck, and the fact that I can kind of represent my class as the valedictorian is a huge honor to me. And like what Stephen said, it is a testament to hard work. You know, we put a lot of hours into studying and working hard in classes. But more than that, it's not just I'm valedictorian, it's a lot of support from teachers and friends and family, and it's not something that you could have just done all on your own. But having that support network was really important, and it just kind of reminds me of how lucky I am to have that. So it's a good reminder of that.
Well, that's nice. Well, I promise you this show is not going to air until after you've both graduated. So can you give us a preview of your valedictorian speeches? And
Sure.
maybe even the process to write it.
Yeah. Well, I guess the process first. I mean, I spent a lot of time kind of writing out and just kind of longhand seeing what I had to say, and eventually, after a while, it started to kind of come together, and it was a long process, kind of editing and cutting it down. And I talked to like my parents and kind of showed them, and they were helpful, and a couple teachers at the school too. And what I ultimately saying. I'm talking a lot about community and kind of how I feel like we all need to embrace each other, kind of, and whether it's listening to each other or supporting each other or kind of looking at problems from different perspectives, kind of hearing all sides of a story, or kind of when we face discomfort or things like that, or troubling times, kind of being together in a community is really important. And so looking back on how the community at the school and the larger area where I grew up, and kind of going forward too. So that's what I'm saying.
Okay. And you, Allison?
The process was difficult. I remember just opening up a Word document and just thinking, how am I going to get across everything I feel about high school in such a short speech? And for a while, it was just, what am I going to write about?
Is there like, a website for ideas for valedictorian speeches?
I'm sure there are. There's everything on the internet. But for me, I just kind of made a list of the lessons I took away from high school and what I thought was important to me, and then just kind of focused on my favorite one, I guess you could say, and I chose that. And I remember I wrote a draft just the best I could, and I knew it wasn't good. And so I just worked with it, though, and made a second draft. I worked with my English teacher at the school. She's helping us with our speeches, and it really did improve. So with writing the speech, it just takes persistence and just kind of working with what you have and improving it along the way. And what I'm talking about is the importance of living in the present. I felt that a lot of times focusing on the future or worrying about the past, then you can't just really enjoy the moment. And so like when you're a freshman, you kind of just want high school to end, and you think graduation's never come, so you just kind of take certain days for granted. But then when you're a senior, it's like, oh my gosh, it's ending. I wish I could have another year here, another day, just to kind of take it all in again. And so I think that it's really important to just kind of focus on what you're doing, on the now, and great things will come in the future. You can worry about tomorrow, but just do what you can today, and that's what's important.
Well, you both sound very wise, and we certainly congratulate you on all your accomplishments and your graduation. So thank you, Allison Ball and Stephen Rome. Good luck, graduates. And we thank you for joining us. Stay tuned, and we'll be back with more community stories and the answer to the trivia question.
Over the last 6 weeks, we had the privilege of welcoming a few graduating seniors from MHS as part of their senior internship program. This week, their experience on the local live is in the spotlight.
These past 5 weeks, we've been interning for the local live at LMC TV. They've been hectic, but they flew by, and we truly had a great time. The best part about the internship was that we were never treated like interns. No coffee and donut runs here, only hard-hitting journalism and pro TV production.
From the start, we were treated like producers of the show. On our first day, we arrived to find out that there was an interview about to be done, and that they needed extra help. 20 minutes into the internship, we were in the control room, working on the soundboard and operating the teleprompter.
We found our own stories, sought out our own subjects, shot interviews, wrote, and edited. We had the freedom to explore anything we wanted and to try a bit of everything. I'd say one of the larger things I gained outside of the technical knowledge and all the work we did was just self-assurance. We came in here, I was doing teasers week 1, and now I've done 3 or 4 different stories. I've hosted the show, I've hosted a roundtable, so really now I'm confident, and that's a confidence I can take with me to school next year and hopefully beyond as I try to go into the world of journalism.
This is Gabe Tugenstein for the Local Live, signing off. Thank you, and we'll see you next week. Not only was working here valuable from a technical perspective, but it taught me more about the community I live in. Not only did I learn how to work a camera, write a story, those sorts of things, but I also learned about the residents, politicians, and events that let this community, Larchmont Mamaroneck, really tick.
So I had a great time working here at LMC TV because it's not like a lot of other internships where they make you get coffee or just shadow someone. They really give you the opportunity to just do stuff, and they treat you as an equal here. So you get to do as much as someone who's been here for 2 years. So they just put you right into the action. Like when I got here the first day, they just sent me into the studio, and I was directing, I was helping out with the cameras, like massive cameras, and like I had no experience, but they were patient with me. They just always helped me out when I need, they always told me what to do, so I just had a great time. And like we're always doing something new here, so I just never got bored, honestly. Like I was always like each day was something like completely different, and like some days we'd be out filming somewhere or just editing or just learning new skills. But I thought it was a great opportunity to just like try something new during the last month of school.
We want to wish our interns Eli Letterman, Gabe Tugenstein, and Nick Juka and the graduating classes of Mamaroneck and Rye-Neck good luck on their future endeavors. Congratulations, class of 2016.
Looking for your child to have a great summer? Sign them up for LMC TV's Team Filmmaking Workshop. Young people 12 and up have an opportunity to film, star, and direct in their own movies. Check out last year's participants. Don't let your teen miss out on a fun, productive summer. Sign them up today. LMC TV, your community connection.
Leia, a female Shep mix, was born April 16, 2016. She has been raised with kids, dogs, cats, and lots of playful activity. She is playful and cuddly and looking forward to a lifetime of snuggles and kisses. For more information on Leia and to browse other adorable pets, go to www.ny-petrescue.org.
Remember, if you'd like to keep us on the air, support our program by checking out our website at www.lmctv.org and click on the donate button in the upper right. We really appreciate any contribution.
We are always welcoming new interns and volunteers, so send your emails to the local live at lmctv.org and join us. We love hearing from you. Thank you so much for watching. I'm James Levinson.
And I'm Rebecca Paganini. See you next week for another edition of The Local Live.
The local live, here's my pet ostrich.